My name is Jennifer Diamond, and today is day 14 for me since my surgery to remove a cancerous tumor in my transverse colon that was 5 centimeters, about 2 inches in size. And today I want to share about the week I've had, the food I've been eating, and the follow-ups. So I want to say welcome, everybody. I just want to mention I'm in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen today, and I have a chair behind me because I'm not sure if I can stand the whole time. And so here I am in the kitchen now, wearing my new shirt, and I'm excited about it. And it says, "Stronger every day." And that's how I'm feeling, stronger every day. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. I see Florence is here. Hi from Tampa. Well, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you guys, are watching this as a replay and you have a question or a comment, you can put it in the comment section as a replay. And if we're live and you're on here, well, you can also reach out and say hello. I love the interaction. And so, yeah, or you could just watch. Todd is behind the camera. He can come in anytime. I've got a bunch of food up in front of me because these are things that I have been enjoying. So if you see anything here, it's food I've been enjoying, including, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a healing juice that I've been making. I haven't been making it. Todd's been making it, and he has become major dude in the kitchen, right, honey?
I don't know that major, although we've been teasing about that, calling myself Dr. Master Iron Chef.
That's right, and I give it to him. So he made me, oh my gosh, I have 2 here of these. Oops, let me just show you. Plus, I've had 1 or 2 already, and then I pour them about 8 ounces at a time, and I'm just trying to drink it like medicine, right? You gotta drink it like medicine. So let me take a minute and say hello to everyone in the chat. The chat is, because I'm sitting, the font is small, honey, so let me see, I saw Florence. What else do I see? Oh, Jesse Bunker. Hey, Todd. Hey, Jennifer. Thank you. Face red heart shape. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. Welcome. And Jackie Cornog is here. Hello. It's so good to see you back in the kitchen. Oh my gosh, it feels good to be back in the kitchen. Even if I can't stay for a long time, thank you so much. And Marianne is here, looking good. Marianne in Mesa, Arizona. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Karen Zerlin is here. Hello, welcome. Oh my God, you guys, it's just so great to see everyone. Tracy Lynn here. Nice to see you up and about, Jennifer. Hi, Todd. Thank you so much. And it's just so wonderful to be in this space with all of you. Okay, so Florence said, I would like Todd to do a cooking demo of his rice dish that he is a master of. Okay, did you hear that? You have a request.
Okay, well, maybe next Tuesday we'll do a Todd cooking demo.
Yay, that's a great idea. Thanks, Florence.
Yeah, thanks, Florence.
Linda Smith, hi. Hello. Is that Bev Ann?
That's Tracy Lynn.
Okay, yes, hi. And everybody here. So, okay, let's start with the week. I wanted to start with the week. Actually, before I start with the week, I'm so excited to just share a silly thing. It's not silly at all. Look at this. This is my latest and greatest idea, and I didn't even open it or try it, but I just want to show you guys really quick. So I'm going to try to start improving things, right? So this is a dish soap bar, and I bought it at our local farmer's market a while ago, and I never used it. And it's like, what am I waiting for? So I thought I would open it and show it to you guys. And in spite inspire you to maybe look at your kitchen and see if there's anything that you might want to improve on. Look at this gigantic block. And I also got one of these. The lady threw it in. It just looks like a little scrubby. It says cotton unsponge. And you're supposed to wet this and rub it and then wash the dishes. God, it smells really good. And I'm just going to share really quickly that the ingredients in this is coconut oil, water, olive oil, castor oil, sodium bicarbonate, citric acid, essential oil blend of lemongrass and rosemary. Hey, no chemicals here. So I'm going to be trying this soon. And anyways, I just wanted to share that. Okay, so going into the week. Okay, so last week we met here, right? And I was really low energy. And that seemed to continue on and off throughout the week. I would get up, I would feel good, and then without much warning or notice, then I would kind of feel my heart rate increase. My ears felt tingly on the outside, not ringing like I'm gonna pass out, but just like something wasn't right, And so I reached out to the team, my medical team, and they said, as long as it doesn't get any worse, you're good. And so what I learned is that this was my body's way of giving me a cue to lay down, to eat more, and to rest. And, our bodies tell us messages all the time. And if we're busy, sometimes we don't listen, or if we want to do something and something hurts, we ignore it until it springs at us. But what I'm trying to do is really listen to the cues of my body and try to figure it out like a game, being curious. And so that's what I figured out. I need to lay down. I need to eat and rest more. So at this stage, I need to allow my body to do a very big job, and that is repairing and healing and rebuilding, which, by the way, takes a ton of energy, lots of nutrients, and a lot of rest. So I need to make sure that I'm eating enough calories. That's another thing. And so I'm sharing this because if you're in a spot like this, or if you're not feeling well, or something's going on, or you know of someone, it's a good thing to try to tune in and figure out, when I feel better, it's because I'm doing this or that or the other, right? And so I haven't sat so long here. I'm like, am I feeling winded? No, I'm okay. Other things that happened during the week that were fun was I worked on a new puzzle. I love puzzles. And in fact, that was how Todd proposed to me, was through a puzzle. If anybody knows that, that's a fun little fact. Yeah, if you're interested, I can tell you more about it, but if not, that's okay. That was really fun. So I had bought myself, last fall, I think it was, a puzzle, and I had never opened it, and I don't know why. But it's a beautiful picture of a sea turtle with the pieces are all made of wood, and some of the pieces, not all of them, some of them have been cut into different fun shapes, like they have a palm tree or crabs or different fish and sharks and whales and all kinds of fun colors. The picture is, and so that was a nice thing to focus on. And no, I didn't finish it yet. I didn't even come close. So anyways, I want to say hi to Julie. Julia Sessions is here. Hi, Jennifer. So wonderful to see your beautiful smile. Oh, thank you so much. And I feel really good because you're here sharing this time with us. So another couple of things that I did that were fun was I watched a few movies with my family. I mean, we don't really watch TV. And so that was interesting. And I was able to visit with some friends that came over, and I sat in the family room on the recliner that we have. It was a short visit, but it was well received. I'm super grateful. And I was feeling like I wasn't really, like I was feeling tired when they were here, and I was feeling, I've lost some weight, and I was just wondering, and I just said to my girlfriend, like, can you tell me how you think I look? And she said, well, you look like you've lost weight and you look tired. And I'm like, yes, you're right. And I love that. I have friends who can support me and love me, and they're not afraid to share the truth, because I already knew it was the truth. I was curious, like, could you see it on the outside? And you could, and that's okay. Because if she said, oh my gosh, I've never seen you looking so good, I would have known, no. So I'm just sharing that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Aphrodite Blue is here. Hi, Jennifer and Todd. Good to see your smiling face. I'm sitting outside potting flowers and watching your live. Way to go. I wonder what kind of flowers. Hopefully they're, I don't know if they're going to be edible or if they're just colorful. And Florence says, yes, I want to know how you met over a puzzle. Well, we didn't meet over a puzzle. How we met, that's a whole nother show we could share another time. But I'll just tell you how he proposed to me. It was really interesting because I love puzzles. And I'll just share this really quickly because she asked. So I was out of the country at the time, traveling with my some family members. We were in Japan and Todd did not go. And when I came back, it was right before Valentine's Day. And he gave me a box. And he said, Valentine's Day, whatever. I opened the box and there's, I don't know how many pieces there were, but it was a puzzle with lots of pieces. And it was 500 pieces? 500 pieces, okay. And they were, all the pieces you could see were our faces, like selfies. And I'm like, are you serious? And he said, yes, this is a gift for you, and you cannot use the picture to put it together. I'm like, what? Who puts a puzzle together without looking at the picture? And there was no picture to look at. He had taped the cover of the box, and I promised I wouldn't tear it off. So long story short, I was jet lagged, and it took me a long time, but a month later, I put the puzzle together, and there were missing pieces in the middle. This is the shortened version, and but I should really just say that. I should say, yeah, okay. So he had his family. He asked my mom and her husband if he could propose to me. Isn't that the sweetest? And his family all knew, and they were calling him all the time. Did she finish the puzzle? Did she finish the puzzle? And he's like, no, she hasn't. And so we had gone out to eat, and we had been, apart for all these weeks. And so I was trying to say, is there anything like that you might want or need, or I'm thinking like sexually, like I've been gone so long. And he grabbed my hands across the table and he stared right into my eyes and he said, yes, I really want you to finish the puzzle. And I'm like, you want me to finish the puzzle? And I kind of got irritated, I'm gonna finish the puzzle, all right. You wait till I get home, I'm finishing this puzzle. And so I did, I worked on it, and then at the end, there was a missing chunk. And I called in, and I'm like, telling him, oh, it's so weird, there's a missing chunk. And he's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. He came home from work, and then all of a sudden, the pieces were there. He goes, oh, I just randomly found this envelope with these missing pieces. Do you want to go do your puzzle? And I'm like, well, I made this nice dinner. Let's have dinner first. So he's like, okay, so we have dinner. And then he goes, you want to do your puzzle now? No, let's do the dishes. Oh my God, we do the dishes. Long story short, we finally go upstairs. I finished the puzzle, and that was verbiage in there of his proposal. And he got down on his knees, and that's how he proposed. So I do love puzzles, and that's a great one. And it was like 180 or something amount of selfies. That's what the puzzle was, with the proposal in the middle. Very, very, very nice. So there you go. Okay, so going back to other things that I did, I just wanted to talk about some new pains that I had. I should say, did you want to add anything to that before we move on?
No, I think we can move on.
Okay. So I felt like it was more muscular, and it came and went. It was mostly if I needed to go to the bathroom, right? It's almost like I could feel the pain in the rectum area. I mean, I'm sharing with you guys, so I hope you want to know. Also in the abdominal area, it was kind of like muscle spasms that would literally stop me in my tracks. I was in a lot of pain, but it was temporary. And once I was able to like pass gas or go to the bathroom, have a bowel movement, then it subsided. So at first couldn't figure out what that was, so I did take 1/2 of the prescription ibuprofen. But then once I figured it out, I didn't take any more. And my doctors confirmed that that's normal. It's to be expected, which is why I'm sharing it, because if you know anyone going through this, these are different things no one tells you. So I try to move around, I drink plenty of fluids, I try to relax the muscles when I can, even when I'm, sitting on the throne. I take notice of my shoulders. Just relax so that the muscles relax, because everything is like still angry in there. So that was another learning thing. And I'm no longer on any pain medication, and that includes the gabapentin that I said that I was on. I'm on none of that. Yay! And my stools are somewhat improved in terms of the form and size, but there's also some that are not formed. So I think my body is just like still figuring out that it's okay. It's going to take some time. So I can also tell if I need to eat less fibrous foods, or maybe I need higher carbohydrates to help balance it at this point. So it's all good there, if I have a lot of, fruit, then the stool's not so good, then maybe I will have rice or potatoes or something, and I try to balance it while it's healing, and while I'm also engaging in bringing new food. So, some of the foods that I've been able to introduce this week, so exciting, you guys. Salad! Salad! Oh my gosh, the salad was made with zucchini that Todd turned into zoodles. If you're not familiar with a zoodle, it's like this little machine where you can put the vegetable in it, and you crank it, and it shapes it into like spaghetti-looking noodles, but it's zucchini. And we did that with cucumber. Some people call that koodles. And we had the skin on those. Todd's laughing at me.
It's like dogs. Like every dog is an oodle now. Every vegetable can be an oodle also.
Or a koodle.
If you just turn it into strings, it becomes an oodle.
Okay, I had red bell pepper in that salad, romaine, and garlic, sprouts, what?
So if you did that with a red bell pepper, would it be a red bell poodle?
This guy. Okay. All right, going back to the foods. We made juice, like I showed you here, with carrots, ginger, celery. The last show I was saying we used cucumber. I meant celery. You can use cucumber, but I use celery. Green apple, garlic, turmeric. I did a little splash of black pepper, and then we strained it twice. And then I did oatmeal with water, bananas, wild blueberries I tried, cinnamon. We had wheat. When I say wheat, it's because he's making it, but I've had it. Lots of smoothies, some with turmeric and mango, and two bananas and silken tofu and cherry chocolate with soy milk and all kinds of things. It's been really fun to eat again. So I've still been enjoying the rice dish that now you're going to have to make. And that is with the zucchini, carrots, silken tofu, and you put some nori and all kinds of good stuff in there. And on the side, watermelon with the seeds. And I actually ate some of the seeds just to do it. Apples with skin on them, steamed broccoli, that was a new one, and baked potatoes. So the list keeps growing. And as of yesterday, I've even added my own broccoli sprouts. So good. I've been using an avocado dressing that I made with lemon and fresh garlic and just a bunch of fun things. So that's been really fun. Florence is asking a question, which juicer do you have? We have the Nama J2 juicer. I actually won it, and what a blessing that has been. We have another juicer that I used to use, but we still have it here. That's the Breville from years ago when I saw Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, that movie, and I was inspired then. But this juicer, is a much better juicer. It's a masticating juicer. It does a better job of extracting all of the liquid. So I'm really happy with it. Marianne says, not sure you can noodle red peppers, need to be solid, not hollow. Nice try though, Todd. Try it and let me know how it goes. You've been challenged.
Well, yes, and I accept your challenge, and I will try it.
All right, so when we do the rice dish, we will also make sure to have red bell pepper for you to oodle or noodle or soodle.
And then I can call it red pepper poodle.
Or it might just, we'll see what happens. So, okay, as far as my weight has been fluctuating a few pounds in either direction, but it's not going down any further, so I call that a win. I was able to walk a bit more. I went 2 doors down outside to our mailbox and then back finally. And I even made it up and down the stairs in our home twice in the past week. And let me tell you, that takes a lot of effort. And I go slow and I take my time. And eventually I get to the top. And it's been like, wow, can you do this? So some of you heard me saying Aphrodite Blue on here was just leaving a nice message. She's potting flowers. Well, she is a dear friend of mine, and she came over again to help me in my healing journey. She is the talented friend who does Reiki sound healing with so many sound bowls and other sounds like chimes, and she does yoga, and she's a singer, and she's just like all over talented. So it's such a blessing that I just wanted to share with her permission, of course, that she's available for anyone who's visiting our area, or if you're local, she can be hired out for her services. It's wonderful, and she's very beautiful and special in soul. And her email is what I think she gave us to share, will be in the show notes, and you can reach out that way if you're interested. So I just wanted to mention that because I really enjoyed those services that she offered me. So you're going to put that in the show notes. We talked about it being in last week's show notes.
It's already in there.
So it's in last week's and it will be in this week's?
It's definitely in this week's. I'll have to update last week's.
Okay. All right. So I also want to share my morning routine. It's not really a morning routine yet. It's still under construction, so to speak. But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to meditate for at least 30 minutes. And I try to do it before I even get out of bed. At this point, maybe I'll change that up. But I have a app on my phone called Insight Timer. It's a free app. And I use that, and it's wonderful. If you're not familiar with it, check it out, Insight Timer. And I've been drinking juice, here, the juice, and doing some form of light stretching, which is involving my arms, right? So if I get up, I just stretch on my back a little bit, doing my wrists, my hands, maybe my neck a little bit, ankles, calf raises, and it feels so good to stretch, and it's not interacting with anything going on in my abdomen. So my sleep is also improved. Oh, is there a question? Oh, Deborah Barr is here. Hi, Deborah. Welcome. So glad to have you here. So I was also going to say my sleep is also improved. Which has always been a problem long before surgery, but what's really exciting is I can lay on my sides, plural, either side, and I use a pillow. I put it between my knees and my ankles, And what that does, if I'm on my side, is it helps to keep my hips more aligned instead of kind of crashing down, which just makes it feel more comfortable. And then getting up and down is also getting a bit faster and easier for me to do in and out of bed, in and out of anywhere, actually. So it's all good things. I can even open and close the recliner chair myself. At first, Todd was doing it, and then he would, so I would have to get in the chair, and then he would go on the side to move the handle, and he was going really, really slow to lift my feet up. And then when it was time for me to get out, he would do the same thing in reverse, and then he was even tipping the chair forward so that I could try to reach the ground, but I don't need that help anymore. I appreciate that help, honey. Yeah, that was really great. Okay, so now for the follow-ups. So yesterday I had 2 follow-ups with the City of Hope, one with a new oncologist and one with my surgeon. So I want to share that leading up to the appointments, I didn't want to go. I did not want to go. I was nervous to go. I didn't want to be in that environment around all these cancer patients, even though I'm a cancer patient. Was that denial? Maybe, Another thing is I also had not been in the car since we came home, and the idea of the energy needing to be put out to get there, it just seemed overwhelming in the days before, before the appointment. I also think that I was really nervous about what was going to be said, what I was going to learn. They say ignorance is bliss. I think there's something to be said for that. And so I shared my thoughts with my husband, with my son, alone in my space at night. I prayed for strength and courage, and I told myself that they weren't going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. My husband told me that too. They're not going to do anything. We're just going to go and talk with them. We can leave, right? So I said, I know I'm going to go. I just don't want to go. So if you're feeling that way about something, I think it's a normal thing. Even though the surgery and all of that's, out of the way. I had this pathology report thing hanging over me in the back of my mind. What is that going to say? What are they going to recommend? And then what am I going to do? So I didn't want to go. But yesterday, Todd and I made the drive out there. I brought my food. You packed me a surprise food. Share what you packed.
Watermelon.
As a surprise, right? Which I was really excited about. But what I had asked for, what did we pack? We packed water, of course, filtered water.
Green apple.
A green apple?
No, I'm sorry, it was an envy apple.
A red apple, but I didn't eat it because I had watermelon.
No, we had the watermelon.
A vegan bagel, and just plain.
And a smoothie.
And a smoothie, and that had berries in it. And do you remember what you ate?
Berries and bananas and vanilla bean powder, and I think there was some silken tofu and some Greek yogurt.
Oh yeah, the plant-based.
Yep, the plant-based yogurt.
Get my calories up. So I brought my food, I brought my pillow, and I brought some questions. This is actually the folder that I brought. So before I get into everything, I do want to show you the pictures that I brought back that were given to my husband when I came out of surgery. And none of us knew what the heck we were looking at. now we know what we're looking at. So I don't know if you can see this. Todd, you might need to bring this closer. But can you bring this closer? So we'll start on this side. Just bring it closer to the camera so they can see.
I will do just that.
Yeah. Okay, so point to the one on the other side. Yep, that he said is just going in and that's looking at my liver, right?
Yes, it's a top-down looking at your liver.
Looking at the liver, and he said the liver looks great. And then the picture to the other side, that had these weird markings. Can you hold it closer to the camera? I'm not sure how clear. Oh, it's a reflection. Yeah, see those markings? So there's some fat on top of that, he said, which is normal.
That's the yellow.
The yellow, and then those markings are actually ink that they had like tattooed so that they could see where the tumor was. I don't see the clips, but below it, those green pictures were after it was removed and put back together. They used, was it some kind of a dye? A dye, and they wanted to, turn green to make sure that there's plenty of oxygen and that the seal is good and everything is good. So that was interesting, and I don't know if the green dye stays, but I would say it doesn't. So I was like, okay, it's really cool that they give you this stuff, but if you don't know what you're looking at, we're like in the hospital going, but, well, honey, like, what did he tell you? What are we looking at? He's like, I don't know. Okay. Florence says, I totally understand your apprehension. This is scary stuff. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I'm sharing it also because I can't be alone in it, Everything can be beautiful, music, whatever. You walk into these places, these spaces, this city of hope with the best of intentions, and it's like, I'm gonna go home. But anyways, okay. So we saw the oncologist first, then we saw the surgeon second. So they removed the right side of my colon, called the ascending and the transverse, which is on the top. The cancer was found in the transverse colon, that's the middle part of the large intestines. And the doctors believed that they had removed all the visible cancers. They also, the edges, they call those margins, we found out were clear, which is good. No cancer was seen at the cut edges. So that was something that we learned. So we went in to see this oncologist. The oncologist we originally saw, I asked for a different one. I chose the one I wanted. I'm very happy with him. He was a wonderful man. He had great bedside manner, very, very knowledgeable, spoke with us, not to us, and was engaging. So that was nice. So he was talking, well, first he came in, introduced himself, and then he was asking us questions. Where are you from? Wow, that's a far drive, all these kinds of small talk. And then he started to talk about what his role is. And he said, as a oncologist, I'm here after the surgery is done to help with any recommendations based on your pathology report and help navigate through this next phase. He does all of the ordering of the scans that I will have every 6 months for a few years, blood tests, and did he mention more than that? There were different scans, but I don't remember the names. And so that's all good. So what he started to say was that he was talking to me in a way that made me feel like he thought I had already seen the pathology report. And I had not. It was not put in my portal. I reached out and I was told that the surgeon wanted to have my visit with me first, and then would approve it to be put in the portal. Well, it's still not in the portal. I have a copy of it though. So he was saying that I am okay, so when they take the piece I just explained out, in it, they slice it up and they find the lymph nodes. How many lymph nodes are in there? Because at first I thought, well, how do you get the lymph nodes, right? Do you pick them out? No, they're in the tissue. And so the pathologist, slices it up, finds them, looks it up under a microscope. They took 13 of my lymph nodes. 12 were clear. 1 was not. Doesn't that seem good? I thought that, okay. So he said, you've got the 1 lymph node that had the cancer cells. And they call it a T3N1, and I didn't understand all that, but a T3 is basically the tumor grew through the wall of the colon and into nearby fat tissues, but not to any organs. And the N1 is basically the lymph node, the 1 lymph node. So he said, what that means is that it's staged as a low risk stage 3. So I immediately started hyperventilating and crying and just said to him, I have not heard anything. I haven't seen the pathology report. I was feeling overwhelmed. And he said, well, that's what I'm trying to tell you, is that it's a low risk stage 3 colon cancer with 1 lymph node. And 1 lymph node is why it's a stage 3. If it were no lymph nodes, it would have been a stage 2. If it was a stage 2, they would send me home. But it's a stage 3, so there's a recommendation that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. So they said there's no metastatic disease, meaning that it has not spread to any organs like the liver or the lungs or anything like that, which is thank you for all your blessings, because that's wonderful. So, he said, well, the cancer was, it was serious enough to spread to 1 lymph node, but it was still caught before spreading throughout the body, which is really great. And this was a really good thing. I had never heard of, I've never done any of this, but I've heard about staging. So I didn't know there were different stages of staging. And what I mean is, I didn't know that there was a stage 3, but there's also a low risk stage 3. And what's the difference? And is that for everything, right? So we were learning about the low risk stage 3 was basically, did you want to say anything about that? Was basically what it is. It's low risk. It's just barely there. And so that's what that is. Another thing is, I've been wanting to know, have they removed my appendix? Did they remove my appendix? The appendix is attached to the bottom part of the colon that they removed, the ascending colon, it's attached. And so I kept asking everybody in the hospital, all the surgeons, and they were all saying, we don't know, it wasn't in the notes. Well, I found out, yes, they removed my appendix because it was attached, and he said the whole piece just came out nuts. So, I don't know, kind of feels weird, like a loss, but like another loss. But Todd and the doctor and even my own mom, they're all just saying, hey, so you don't have to worry about ever having an appendicitis. Okay, so yeah, that's true. So is that? Is there a comment in here? Emily BH, it says, lymph nodes are supposed to store and treat waste tissue that the rest of the body shouldn't be exposed to. You need lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are like septic tanks, yes. And that's why they only take a sample of them. And it wasn't like intended to, like I didn't know at first, right? Do you seek them out? They're all over, right? I mean, I do lymphatic drain, stuff on my trampoline and stuff. And she says, I hope they didn't take too many out. My understanding is that 12 would have been the minimum, and they took 13. They don't know how many they're taking until they get the sample, and then they cut into it, and then they find them, and that's how they know. There is an order, which they didn't share with us, but I've learned. So, like one of the questions we have, and we don't have an answer from the surgeon yet, but one of the questions actually my son came up with, which is, where was that lymph node that was cancerous? And does it matter where it is? But it might. If it's close to the tumor versus this other part, then maybe, this is clear, maybe. I mean, maybe it just got there versus if it was way out here. And in some cases, they do write that in the pathology report, but we don't see that in ours. That doesn't mean it isn't somewhere else. And I'm not sure if it matters. Florence says, crispy cancer started out with a surgical
Resection.
Resection too, yes. Yes, I'm very well aware. Crispy Cancer is an amazing program. If you're not familiar, you should definitely check him out. And I purchased his program many years ago as like a preventative. But it's been so many years, so I've been going back and just re-listening it to get inspired and things like that. So it's a stage 3, low risk stage 3. The reason it wasn't a stage 2, which I already said, is because one of the 13 lymph nodes did test positive for cancer cells, but it hasn't spread to anywhere else. So the cancer, is microscopic little piece was found in there. So the oncologist said that there is a 75 to 80% chance. He said, he's using rough figures. At one point he said this was an example. Then later in the conversation he said, my situation. 75 to 80% chance that the cancer won't reoccur. Okay, but his recommendation is a short 3-month course of chemotherapy, which might increase that 75 to 80% to 85 to 90%, 10%. He said that it is standard, he didn't say the word protocol, but what they recommend for my situation, my cancer. He said, of course, there's lots of side effects from chemo, and some of the things that he said was nausea. He said you don't lose your hair, but some people have said that the hair can thin. The one that I didn't like hearing about was neuropathy, because if anyone knows me, I dealt with a lot of neuropathy, and that's something that comes back. There's also a problem with feeling on the hands and feet too cold. He said, well, you wouldn't want to put your hand in the freezer because it could burn. So I don't know enough yet. So even though the tumor was removed, tiny cancer cells too small to see could still be in the body, and that's why the doctors were recommending what's called is it adjuvant? Adjuvant chemotherapy. Okay, which means chemotherapy given after surgery to lower the chances of the cancer ever coming back. Now, one of the 2 chemotherapy treatments that he's recommending, and he wrote it down on this paper, and I asked him, can I have your notes? Which you can't really see because it's blurry, but he just wrote it. is called Folfox. Now, if you have had cancer or known someone close to you and have been in their treatment, you may know what these things are. This is new to me. I've never heard of this. So I'm whirling about what he just told me. Haven't read the report yet. And now he's recommending chemotherapy. And now he's talking drugs that I don't understand. And that's okay. Because what were we going to do? We're just going to talk and leave. We're not going to do anything. We're just going to talk and leave. It's just going to talk and leave. So Folfox, which is 3 different medications. This is how he said it. He started here. He wrote Folfox. He wrote 5-FU-LV and oxalate. Okay. He said that first one is 3 different medications that they inject through a port. So I don't have a port. So I would need to get a port if I did this one. This is not the only option. This is the first one. So he said, so you need to get a port, and they put it under the collarbone and it just stays there. And it's a way for them to put in the chemotherapy. And that method, he said, you go there, they put it in, and then they have some kind of bag attached. What do you call it?
It's a pump.
Oh, a pump. I'm sorry, you're right. A pump attached. And the pump, you go home with it for like 2 days, 48 hours. And then you go back. And then they disconnect the pump. And you go every 2 weeks. And the recommendation for me was for 3 months. A short term, 3 months, which would be 6 times. 1 every 2 weeks.
Every 3.
No. For 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. So twice a month, twice a month, twice a month. So 2, 4, 6. Okay. Well, first thing I'm thinking of is pass. I'm not getting a port. Is that it? But I'm trying to be open and listen and learn and not make any decisions. So before I go into the next one, Emily BH says their orthodox treatments are far worse than the cancer. Florence says it is standard protocol. That's exactly the wording he used for all cancers to bump up the percentage. Not everyone chooses to have it. Correct. And Emily says, I wouldn't do the chemo at all. They just want to milk your insurance. Possibly. And, you know, Bev Ann says, I need to go, Jennifer. Thanks for sharing. Send love. Yes, thank you so much. And strength and virtual hugs to you, Tracy. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And then I wouldn't do chemo at all for all the tea in China. Well, yes. And before I went there, what did I say to you, Todd?
You don't drink tea?
I do drink tea.
I know. No.
No, what I said, you know, days leading up is I'm not doing anything. But what I've decided is that I need to be open to just listening, doing some research, and not making a decision. So that's where I'm at. I'm not making a decision. I'm just sharing what they shared with me. And not a place that I really want to be, you know. But all the beautiful walks and hikes and vacations and beaches and flowers is not going to change the fact that I need to deal with this, whether that's choosing to have something done or not. I still need to walk the path. So that's what I'm doing. Video 1000 nights, hang in there. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. Okay. So the other treatment kind of combines a few of the medications into a pill form. So they said you don't need a port. It's basically they have 5-FU, that's what he wrote, and the LV combined. They took those and they combined them into a pill. And then the Oncology is something that they do in an IV, and it would be every 3 weeks for the duration of a 3-month protocol, but because it's stretched out, it would actually probably go longer, but it's still the same. That's what he said. And so I was like, oh, well, tell me what that is. So you come in, you get an IV, no port, every 3 weeks, and then you go home and you take a bunch of pills, like 2 pills a day for 14 days, then there's 7 days off, and you just keep doing that. The major side effects are in that Oncology. The other one, there's some side effects, but it's mostly like upset stomach, nausea, things like that. Because what are they doing? What is chemo? Chemo is knocking down the bad cells, but they can't only knock down the bad cells. So they knock down all the cells, the bad, the good, all the cells. The immune system is compromised, and that's what it is. So they said that it's a short duration. It used to be a 6-month thing. Now they only do 3 months. Most people that get neuropathy, it does go away because it's a short duration. And they monitor you. One of the questions I asked him was, if I decide not to do any of this, would you be willing to still monitor my blood and order my scans? And he said yes. Yes, he would. He is not an individual oncologist in his own practice. He is in a system. So it makes me wonder, because I hear like crispy cancer, and I gotta stand up for a minute, talk about, the money-making portion of it, because chemo is a big moneymaker. But I don't know if he personally has a difference in pay for recommending it or not recommending it, since he's in a system, Like, I know in the past when I've had things done at Mayo Clinic, and I've talked to my surgeon, who did my sinus surgery many years ago, she said to me, I get paid the same whether you decide to have me do your surgery or whether I sit in my office. So I thought that was interesting. So what I was confused about is, I'm not sure why someone would want the first option with the port over this pill, an IV version. I didn't think to ask that because I was whirling, but there's got to be a reason, right? It just does. Who would say, oh, I want to sign up for the port? No one. I don't think anyone. Okay, so another thing that he said is that he was going to do some additional testing on my cancer, on the tumor. He kept saying, not on you, on the tumor that's sitting in the bag in the lab. He wanted to do additional testing. Do you remember the name of that testing? No, we don't know what it is. But the testing was going to see if there's a treatment, like some kind of testing to see if it's positive for, I can't remember. We're going to have to research that again. And if it was positive for whatever he's testing, that there was some kind of treatment that you could possibly use with aspirin. It's like, okay, and he seemed very excited about it, like it's a new and upcoming thing. I don't have a lot of details on that, but I mean, it sounds like a lot better option, right? I don't know if that's in place of or in addition to. Now, what I will be sharing is not what I decided to do, which I already started to mention, because I don't know what I'm going to do yet. This is me just sharing what's been recommended to me. I'm still processing everything. This information was given to me yesterday. It is super fresh. We need to do our research. I need to do my research. And I just want you to know that I'm going to consider all things. I'm going to take my time because it's a big decision. And I think that it needs a lot of consideration. So, anyhow, let's read a couple comments here. And then we'll go on to the next surgeon. So Emily says, is that Becky of Eamon and Beck? A YouTube channel went through surgery and chemo for cancer, and she's in her 20s to early 30s. And look, and what she went through, and I think her cancer is back. Wow. You know, he did keep saying it doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't guarantee anything. What did he say? It doesn't guarantee it'll come back or won't come back, regardless of what I decide to do. So, but he said that, you know, the research shows and all this stuff. Let me just see if there was something else. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so also remember that oncologists get paid commissions by the drug companies based on what and how many drugs they get a patient to use. Yeah, I've heard of that too. Yeah, Emily, you're very knowledgeable. Thank you for sharing all of this. Natalie Dixon is here. Hello, Jennifer and Todd. Welcome. So nice to have you come in. Florence says, yes, there is. Using your own immune system with great success. That's why they need to further analyze the tumor. Okay. All right. So that was the hardest. That was the hardest part of that yesterday, and I just said, if I have any more questions, can I reach out to you? He said, absolutely. And he said, why don't we do a follow-up in a few weeks, 4 to, whatever, I don't know how many weeks. And then you can answer any more questions, and we can decide what we're going to do. And he said, we're not going to do anything, no matter what, if I wanted to do something, because I need to heal more first. So I don't feel rushed. I just was ever so shocked. So after that, we met with the surgeon, which was such a great meeting. He asked me how I was feeling. He examined my incisions. Earlier in a different live, I shared that when they had me leave the hospital, they were talking about, the incisions are going to turn like every shade of the rainbow, and like you're going to have, no, I'll have to show you another time, but I don't have any discoloration outside of where the incisions are, and maybe one little tiny black and blue mark above. Do you know what I do have? The IV here is still, that they had with all my stuff in the hospital, is still not looking too good, and it's got a purple or greenish tinge, and also an injection they gave me on the last day in my leg. It's like, wow, but this, I don't know, I feel pretty good about that. So he checked the incisions, and this is what he said. He said, you are healing wonderfully. And he said, you can eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, and I have no restrictions at all. I can work out, I can do whatever I want. He said, now, I also want you to use common sense. Okay, so that doesn't mean start where you were, and I'm not going to. The only exception is that he said the only restriction is that I cannot take a bath or go in a pool or, put it underwater for a few more weeks, just because you don't want to have any kind of opportunity for infection. So he said, except for an annual colonoscopy, which is what they want to do, 1 a year for at least 3 years, to continue checking and make sure nothing's come back. We're pretty much done. I'm like, well, do I need to follow up with you anymore? He said, no, you don't need to follow up with me. If you want me to do your colonoscopy, you can, or you can have this other department or whoever, but as far as the surgery, no. I'm like, okay. So I reached into my bag, and we gave him a throw it in the bucket t-shirt, which he saw Todd wearing the day of the surgery, and said he really would like one, so we surprised him. Hey, you helped me, I want to help you. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can find my merchandise store at thejenniferdiamond.com/merch. After all, he was the one who was going to throw it in the bucket. At our first meeting together, he inspired that shirt and he loved it. So it was fun. So anyways, any other video 1000 nights, I would put more positive consideration into doing it the first time to maximize the chance of it not coming back. Realize it's a personal choice. Yeah, it's a personal choice. You're right. And Emily said, but the good news is that you can lower the inflammation yourself with raw food and vegetables, and see vegetable diet and alkalize in addition to whole medicinal herbs. And you're right, and I'm already starting to do that to the best of my ability. Their advice about diet just shows, they admit it. I asked him if I decided to do this, the oncologist, I said, what kind of recommendations would you have regarding food? And he said, well, you know a lot about food, because that was part of the question, is what do you do for a living? But he said, I would have you reach out with one of our nutritionists, which I didn't share. I've already met with her, but yeah. So he did not say anything about food. And I think that was right and smart of him, because he's not educated in nutrition. So that was pretty much it. And I just want to thank everyone for the continued support, text messages, jokes. I've gotten some jokes and some comedy, for the love, for the prayers, for the gifts, for everything. This community is such an amazing support. And I also hope that all of my sharing is reaching someone who's benefiting, offering them new ideas, support, guidance through my own experience. Because this is a tough place to be. Never in my wildest dreams would I have guessed that this is what I would be doing, but here I am. So I love you all. I did really good sitting in the chair with you in the kitchen, you guys. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I wish you nothing but the best. I want to tell you, don't forget to eat your greens. I'm going to be trying some spinach this week, and give plants a chance. They will not let you down. They will not let you down. Take care, everyone, and we will see you next time. I appreciate your time, and be well. Thank you. Bye for now.